it is our intention to bring into being a college to serve a body of graduates, limited in numbers, but of high promise in scholarship and qualified to make of worth the fellowship to which they belong. It is our prayer that through the fullness of its corporate life and the efforts of its members, the college will nourish learning and serve the public good.
Came from a very Methodist family. The Methodists were extremely interested in education. So the college came as his last big project. And it's not entirely him, it's the Massey Foundation, which was comprised of a number of other people, two of whom were architects, which I think accounts for the hiring of Ron Tom. And so in relationship to Methodism, Methodism is all about community. And throughout his and the family's entire history, there has been a desire philanthropically to create more vigorous, vital, important communities. And you couldn't ask for a better example of that than Massey College.
I love Massey College. It's a jewel at the physical and intellectual heart of the University of Toronto, where young and old come together in an incredibly synergistic mix that has made Massey the envy of the university, the envy of the country. It's a very, very special community with a special culture.
There's a community of scholars that stretches back to, well, medieval times and before that, to Socrates and Plato. A feeling of somehow or another you're all in a small way trying to contribute to the maintenance of our intellectual heritage and to continue to expand it. And I think Massey does achieve that for many of the people that are there.
One of the things that I thought Massey brought to the young people here was the chance to rub shoulders with the greats in society.
The people who have been part of this college include some of the greatest minds in the country and some of the greatest minds at U of T.
I suddenly realized I was part of it, a greater Canadian culture that I had never encountered before. Someone had plucked me out of a very large class of graduate students and placed me in this room.
It is partly the building that makes this setting so perfect for people to debate ideas and exchange ideas and disagree and remain friends and to involve members of the wider community. It is such a brilliantly designed building for these purposes.
Well, it is a beautiful place. It was created by a wonderful architect. He wasn't good on details, as anyone who's lived at Massey will tell you. There's not a lot of outlets. It was a big thing to get air conditioning into this place.
Massey College was beautiful. It was a lovely atmosphere. It was a shelter. It was a stimulus. It was amazing.
I think the best memory I have from those years is that sitting in the common room and look outside the window and marvel at the architecture, which was unique in those days, and you feel very peaceful about it. So it gave you time to reflect on how beautiful things can be.
It attempts to emulate the Oxbridge colleges, and it, having been at Oxford myself later on, it succeeds better than Oxbridge, I think, in some ways.
Well, first of all, it was an oasis of calm and beauty and stylishness. Books with 2 libraries. It was a place with a common room, with a bar open after every dinner, where we could gather together and kibitz and joke and laugh. It was a place for joy. And to find it as it is today, it is the same place. And that makes me feel as if I've not aged as much as I have.
I can remember the first time I came here as a guest. as a guest to Robertson Davies to a high table. And I remember walking into this dining room, and it's very theatrical, this place, if you haven't noticed. And so the whole high table procession was something I just thought, how has this survived?
To the outside, it did look phony at that point. It looked probably to many people artificial, especially with the gowns and the graces and all the formalities.
The perception of Massey has often been that it is this elite institution, quite closed, for privileged individuals. Often it matters who you know, which university you're going to, until I came to Massey, and that the exposure, what I have seen, what I have learned and experienced here is that is absolutely furthest from the reality.
As the world changes and evolves, Massey very much is a part of that and embraces that a lot.
Now we have a lot more diverse community. You see a lot of Africans, a lot of Asians, a lot of Canadians from different parts of the world. It's beautiful.
The college now is much more connected to the many struggles that women have at various points in their careers, and the very limited timelines that we have between caregiving for children and at the other end, caregiving for elders.
This place is kind of a kaleidoscope of people, so it changes differently no matter what angle you're looking at it from. I have seen some of the churn in terms of the things that are considered the standard Massey year. When I started, there was like a standard way of doing wine grazing, or there was a standard way of doing the Halloween dance. There was like standard things that the LMF did every year. From then to now, I've seen the standard become different with each year. And there was a running joke at one point that like, if you do something for 2 years in a row, it's been happening since the 60s, man. Don't question it, don't change it.
One thing that I'm very proud of recently that we were able to do at Massey was to raise the pride flag and celebrate that around here. I just think it's a wonderful thing we're able to celebrate that together.
The first Pride High Table, that was awesome. That was one of my happiest memories here. It was truly special night, and we were all here in the pre-reception and to see Greg come here and to say, and I can finally say Happy Pride, and that the room exploded like with, happiness and joy. Because you could say that was a special moment of a community, evolving and growing stronger and more inclusive.
During my last almost 10 years as a member of Massey College, I've seen a great deal of change. But one thing that has become very clear is a renewed focus on the junior fellowship and developing the next generation of leaders across an array of fields.
We've had the distinct honor of being named a third Chapel Royal. And this one is particularly important because it was done in the spirit of reconciliation, a relationship particularly with the Mississaugas of the Credit.
When we first came together, I think Massey's knowledge of who the Mississauga was very, very limited, much as Canadian society. It's been a massive push to provide education and understanding the true history, how it unfolded, the good and the bad and the ugly. So everything we've accomplished has been because we built relations.
One project that I personally was involved with over the pandemic and in recent years was starting up the Massey Dialogues. To bring Massey to the outside world, to show people what we're about and what sort of ideas can come out of Massey, to be able to do that in a way that's accessible to all, I think is a great achievement.
It's been an opportunity for junior fellows to become more comfortable with sharing their research and talking about really important, globally important topics. And it's great to hear from experts in the field. We might not see ourselves that way, but Massey's priming us to be able to get there, and hopefully the research that we're doing is leading us to something that will benefit the greater public, and this is really fostering our ability to do that.
The caliber of people that we have here, even at the junior fellow level, is so inspiring. Everyone is pushing the boundary of what they know. So it's like you're in this community, or quote unquote, an incubator of learning, where people's success even pushes you to want to do better.
I can't think about what my career might be like right now if it weren't for Massey College. Massey certainly helped me develop my intellectual chops. I publish regularly. I have a book recently out, my second book with a third on the way. Being at the college certainly helped in that respect. But beyond that, the work that I do in the public realm, being a public academic and someone who makes impact in the public policy realm as well, it was my time here at the college that really helped and trained and encouraged me to go on and do that work, and I'm eternally grateful.
So I finished a degree in astrophysics, but right now I'm in the kind of politics policy sphere, which is a very, very weird trajectory. But being here and talking to, for example, Hugh, who was a senator and former chief of staff to the prime minister. You have Natalie, obviously a former MPP, a former minister. You have politicians, diplomats, people who are kind of in the policy sphere, coming in and out of this place. And that allows for a lot of really good conversations to kind of tell what this life is like, and it really interested me. So I definitely credit, if not for Massey, I don't think I would have had the confidence or the contacts or the idea to kind of pursue my current career.
Every day that I see people from different disciplines talking to each other and exchanging ideas and being sparked by an idea that comes from another discipline, I feel like I'm doing my job.
Massey College has really impacted my life for the positive. When I first began, I was a non-resident junior fellow, able-bodied, and then what happened was that I had a traumatic brain injury, and I had to take a leave of absence from school and from Massey College. Once I was actually ready to come back, I was really nervous because of how prestigious Massey is, and my brain wasn't really working very well, and I was worried that I wouldn't fit in very well in the community as someone with such a big disability. But I was very pleasantly surprised at how welcoming and kind everyone was.
I got the first hand to find out that Massey is so kind and helpful, the people here. With Oris, the porter, even shoveled the snow of the pathway for me to wheel her in for the event. And Greg was also so helpful, even prepare us ahead of time where to sit and when to go into the dining area for the high table.
So I'm really, really grateful that Massey helped me get over my severe social anxiety, improve my speech, my language, as well as grow my intellect, my knowledge base of a lot of things.
I find that the warmth of this place, it confirmed that Phyllis is in the right place to grow.
There's a certain push that a lot of the degrees at U of T, it can change who you are and how you feel. There's almost a pressure to become someone that fits in that space. And Massey gives you a place where you can fit in as yourself and then return to that a little more reaffirmed and not necessarily needing to fit in or mix with all of those people or behave the way they are or think the way they do. And so without that, I think I might have felt more pressured to go the corporate law route, not to focus on Aboriginal law as much. I wouldn't have felt as free to explore the communities or feel, I might have been stressed enough to feel compelled to make tough choices and not made the right ones for myself if the college hadn't been here for me. So I'll always be thankful for that.
So to me, to be here and trying to help the next generation of public intellectuals, the next generation of change makers, the people that will actually push the boundaries of knowledge, that's a privilege and it's a real honor.
I think, the secret sauce to Massey College, what makes it so special is really the meeting of the minds.
There are very few venues in the world left that we can sort of have these
interdisciplinary dialogues and have these sort of difficult conversations about, you know, the ways that the world is changing, the ways in which social pressures are changing, and we can have those conversations in a way that is both sort of safe and productive.
One of the great pleasures is whenever I'm here, I end up talking to people about topics about which I know nothing, which are most topics. I'm engaged in a conversation where A and Z are meeting up with, you know, 1 and 100, and it's a whole mixed bag. And none of these, not all these things in this mixed bag would usually be seen together in most other circumstances. That creates kind of a cacophony of thought and conversation, and it creates some terrific relationships.
I've encountered some of the most brilliant and endearing people that I think I've met in life. And so what makes me appreciate Massey most is that I've been able to make those connections. And I think these are connections that I'm probably going to carry for the rest of life, foreseeably. And that's made me really proud to be here and happy to be here.
I'm always flabbergasted during high tables I meet. When you think you've met the best of the best, you will be shocked with yet another person.
I certainly feel in awe of some of the people who are there, but I also feel energized and inspired.
What I hope to see for the next 60 years at Massey is that it becomes even more inclusive than it already has become, so that anyone that wants to nourish learning and serve the public good feels comfortable and welcome doing that here.
I'd like it to be the place where you want to do your studies. You know, that you want to be that you choose to pursue your studies because of Massey College, that you choose to come to Toronto because of Massey College. And I would like it also to ensure that we have enough international visitors to see ourselves as contributors not only on the national scene, but also on the international scene.
I'm going to be working closely with the principal, working closely with other colleagues and with the junior fellows to see how we can increase and expand, I would say, Massey's footprint and make global connections.
If I were to come back in 60 years, I want to hear people debating. I want to hear them arguing. I want to hear them having fun. I want to hear them feeling that there's a future. I want to hear them thinking that there will be a future and that the college has adapted to what that future is bringing to them.
We're really being intentional at the moment with the guidance and the training that we're providing to our junior fellows in a number of different areas. And that's really going to help them in their careers and ultimately help Canadian society as they move beyond the walls of Massey and the university and go out and live their lives. I certainly want to see this building undergo the renovations that we hope that it will. So in addition to bringing the college in many ways into the 21st century with respect to things as simple as the heating and air conditioning systems and bringing in more high-speed internet, there are also a number of things that we can do to make the building more accessible and more appealing, more livable for the people who stay here, more attractive for the people who visit.
I really hope that Massey is successful in engaging people who will help the college to maintain this absolutely beautiful and significant building. That is, I think, a really big part of Massey's future, because I have no doubt there will always be wonderful graduate students who want to be junior fellows. And there will always be faculty members and scholars from outside the U of T who want to be part of what goes on here.
I see the next 60 years as being nothing but success and contribution and accomplishment for Massey, preserving this fabulous building that we have in the heart of the campus of this incredible university, and continuing to be a unique gathering place for graduate students and faculty and the broader community in shared intellectual pursuits.
You know, what I really hope is that Massey continues its commitment to free inquiry, which is very much under attack right now from both sides of the political spectrum. There's divisiveness in Canada, around the world. There's polarization. There's a feeling that we can't really talk to each other, we have no common ground. And here, this is a kind of civilized forum for sophisticated discussion about all sorts of things.
We are in such a time of change right now, so people talking is vital. It's vital. And this is where that happens. And it's been cultured for 60 years, so the harvest is sort of in the making.
In the future, I hope that Massey continues on its journey, and that, that what we're trying to accomplish at Massey becomes more than the confines of where we are and how much we touch, and it grows beyond this to the point where it encompasses the university that's next to us, it encompasses the streets areas, it encompasses the city, and beyond that. It's because what they're trying to accomplish is not so much a change in the physical. The change in the physical will be a result of what they're trying to accomplish, but what they're trying to accomplish is a philosophical thing. You're trying to make the world a better place by raising consciousness.
I love and I'm very proud to be connected to a place where people are thinking. That's what they do. And as we move into the future and we continue with the broadcasting of the ideas that are here, that's thinking live. I love this, and I'm proud of that. And all the people that have come through this place and that will be creating actual things through their thinking, through their ideas, and change will occur. It's brilliant.